Hey guys, this video I'm going to talk about the panniers that you get from Lectric e-bikes. I got a pair of these with our new Lectric XPs. I really did not like the way that they fit on the bike, so I modified mine. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. Here goes a set that, as they come from Lectric, and they've got these straps here, two straps here, and strap. Well, right off the bat, I noticed something when you put these panniers on your rack that comes with these, is that they're not made for this rack. You know, they're fairly decent bags, especially if you get them free like I did. Well, you can't beat free. But, you know, it's got Lectric insignia on it and everything, but they are not made for this rack. This rack on these XPs are wider than a lot of your traditional bike racks, and that's what this is made for. The width on this bridge on this saddle is about 5 inches, and this rack is about 7 inches, so they really don't fit very well. Not only do they not fit very well, it's a real hassle to put them on and to take them off. So if you're using these things and you're going out somewhere and you want to take it off just because you got things in it you don't want stolen or whatever, it takes you forever to get them off your bike, and then it takes even longer than that to put them back on your bike. So I says, well, what can I do? So what I decided to do was, I had a set of Cannondale bags that I bought well over 30 years ago that I used to use on a regular basis on my touring bike. And I remember how they attached. I don't have them anymore. I got rid of those bikes. But they had a very simple way of attaching panniers. And it makes no difference what size the rack is. What they do, they have 2 hooks on either side. And actually the Cannondale had a spring here. I've used a bungee cord because I think it does about the same thing. And what it does, you take these and they just fit right there. So I'll show you how this hooks up. I'll take this bungee and hook it on that. It's got tension on it, and it hooks through there. And that's it. You do the other one, and that's it. And my other bike has another bag on the top. So I can put this on and it doesn't interfere with this other bag at all. It's up on the top, which it would if it looped over. I'd have a problem then with the other bag attaching. So that's real simple. And you put your if you want to take it off, you just pick it up. There it is. That's all. I've got little handles on it, so you can take the 2, put a little Velcro in here. So these will stay together, but with the handles like that, then you can tote them as a pair around like that. So I think that works much better than the stock way of putting these bags on. And basically what I did, I'll leave that right there so you can kind of see it. And I'll show you what I did with these. As we go along, I took all of these hooks, went to my wife's sewing box, and got thread remover. So I just remove all of these straps. Remove that strap, that. All 4 of those straps. And on this strap, what you want to do is you can actually, I'm going to do this one a little bit different than what I did here. Here I cut it. I think I'm going to just take this one, and I really wouldn't have to do anything with it. I could just leave it alone, to be quite honest. And I think I might just leave it alone on the other one. Just leave this strap alone. Now, on this one I cut it and got that under it. But on this set, I believe I will just let it stay like so. Because I can take my bungee and just run it under that. And it'll just, I won't have to modify that in at all. But I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut this right down the center line. So So it'll be 3 inches on each. This is 5 inches, so it'll be 2.5 inches on either side. Okay.
This concludes part 1 of this video. If you'd like to continue watching this video, I will go into more detail as to how to modify these panniers.
You'll need 2 pair of those. These come in a pair. These are the 3/8 inch line clamps, and they came from Lowe's. I also bought from Lowe's just some bungee cords. These are those ones with the balls on it. So you need, probably you can just get by with one of these. You might have one of these laying around the house somewhere. I did, and probably wouldn't even have to buy these, but I went ahead and bought them anyway because I'm all the time using them for one thing or another. And what I've got here, but what I will use these for, I use these for keepers on the pannier bags. I'll run this through and secure this to the bag. The bag itself has a stay, probably some material similar in thickness and plastic like this inside them. So it gives it something rigid that you can take these rivets and rivet to. And so I've got 3 holes in that, 2 holes either side for the rivets, and a hole in the center for the bungee cord. And put some heat shrink on these. Same process. Just make sure that you're a little bit longer. And the same thing here. A hole in there. For the rope to come through. Need a small one for. And I've got my hole set up. So got that ready. And you know, the same thing for all of these. They work out the same way. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut my plastic here to give me some reinforcing for this portion. What I will do is when I cut the bridge on this saddle bridge, when I cut it down, I'm going to be wrapping it around one of these stays, and then I take it and I rivet it into the pannier here. So that needs to be about 1.5 inches, I think. 1.5 inches. And a couple of clamps to hold it in place. And I'm using a little plexiglass cutting tool. Works great on this plastic here. Okay, that's one. So I've got my 2 stays right here. Take the pannier. On this bridge, you want to cut it right down the middle. Okay, so that gives me a center line. Got my center line. And I just cut it down the center. Got rid of that. Take care to try to preserve these straps because you will be using these straps for different things later on. So in the process of removing them, you know, try not to damage the strap itself. Just get the where they're sewn in. Get that done. Get one gone. And this other one. Okay. Strap. Okay, I'll do one of these. I'll show you how to do one of them. Okay, when you get them through right there, you'll notice that it's got a little extra piece in the middle between these two canvases. It's got another little piece of material in between. You want to remove that since you don't need it. It kind of gets in the way for what you're getting ready to do. So just cut that out. Make sure you don't cut the other stuff. It's pretty thin, this interior liner, whatever it's for. I'm not real sure. Okay, once that's out of the way, what you want to do is make sure that these are the right size to fit into that slot. and you want this to fit in here. It can be a little bit small. You don't want it too tight. You don't want material to have to bind up in it. Cut that off. Rid of these hard edged corners on it. They could cause problems in maybe cutting through the material later on. Okay, those edges rounded. All right. Okay, that looks to be about right. I'm just getting a preliminary fit here. Okay, so that's that. Okay. This is a double-sided tape. It's what it's got. It's got a sticky surface in it. It's a cellulose type material in here, real thin, and it's double sticky. Ordered this off of Amazon. I'll post up all of this stuff. I'll try to post in this video. I'll leave you a link to it. But I use this material to put it in there and to get it to hold itself in place. So what you want to do, and this is sticky stuff, so a little bit longer than what I need. Okay. And what I want to do is I want to have this on both sides. So I'll go ahead and kill two birds with one stone here. If you get a little wrinkle in this material, don't really let it be that concerned about it, because it's very thin. The sticky part that's going to remain is very thin. Got your hard roller that helps to get it good solid seat. Okay, I've got that side. Now, don't worry about any bubbles you get. That'll come out once you take this material off. This. What I'm trying to do here is just get it flush. Okay, so I've got those. They're ready. Now I'm going to just cut through the tape. Try not to damage your stay any more than you can, so don't put too much pressure on it, just enough to get through the tape. Now peel off the sticky surface. There, got an edge I can pull from. And this tape is sticky, so take a little care when you're trying to get this thing in. And make sure you get it all the way to the bottom. Okay. Once you do that, now I need to do the same to the other side. Okay, I've got that to stay down fairly well. Okay, what I'm going to do now, I want to lap this end piece over so I don't have any raw edge showing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut, we'll split this edge right here a little bit so it won't get up and be so thick when I get ready to turn it down. And I'm going to take the side that's going to go down against here, because we'll use some more of that same tape in here. But I don't want this piece right here to interfere with my overlap. So I take it and I cut it all the way back to that little plastic stay. Okay, now I've got a little the edge here that I want to lap over. Now this is pretty much the same tape as this, except this is I think that's 1/4 inch. Looks like about 1/4 inch. It's just thinner, and this comes in handy for what I'm getting ready to do in thinner areas where I don't have quite as much material. Cut me off a little piece. This on the edge. What we're doing here, we're using this tape. It's kind of like sewing, without sewing. We're just using it for our attachment. I'm gonna put 2 strips of this down because I've got enough room. Okay, I've got that in place. We'll get it seated well. peel back the backing on that tape to get it off. Try this in. Now take that and try to get it as tight as you can. Just take it and roll it over the edge of that stay. Okay, get that down. Okay, now you got that. Now what we want to do is we want to lap this over right here. Now I think we can live with that. Okay. Now what I need to do is, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a whole piece of this and fold it onto itself. Just cutting off any excess on these edges. Roll that in place. You want to get that down as solid as you can, because once you get that material folded together, then it's hard to get in there again. It won't have the advantage of it being like it is. Pull that off. Now you've got your sticky onto your sticky. So you just take that, make sure that you've got it straight down at the bottom, fold it over, press it down, and there you go. And now it's set up for your hooks. Your hooks will go right in here, like so. Okay, I'm going to take the rubber protective piece off of this strap. And that's what your strap looks like. I want to get rid of this piece right here. So I'm going to put it in my vise. Take my Dremel tool. Cut that end piece off. Watch out, because these can get hot. And I'm going to take it and smooth it down. Get rid of the burrs. Okay, so I got rid of my burrs. So now I take the shrink tubing again. Okay, get that on and make sure you got some overlap either end. A piece of wood. It gets kind of hot and deform any plastic that's nearby. And there, I've got that covered with the tubing. Got my hole for my rivet to go through. I think it is more important on the top, on these hooks that go against your rack, that you do have this little rubber piece on. Just gives an added piece of cushioning between the rack and this hook, so you shouldn't have any problems with it scratching, finish on the rack or anything. Okay, I've got that in place, and I'll make a little keeper again out of this other tubing, and I got it about midpoint of that hook, that tubing right there, and push that down right there so that adhesive that's in that tubing will stick. Once it sticks, that tubing's in place because it's got an adhesive. And so there goes one of my hooks. Okay, now what I'm going to do is get this bag lined up. Use that piece of wood so I won't damage anything. I want to line this hook. I want the top of the hook to level out with the top of this stay bin right here. Need to mark that. So I've got that marked. And it just so happens that this one won't have any problems. Make sure you're not going through any fabric that you don't want to hold to go through. Get this punch. Go through it. Okay. Now I've got a clean hole through it. So what I need to do at this point is get the appropriate size rivet. This particular case, I'm using a 3/16 inch rivet. And I'm using the longest ones that I've got, so it will go through the hook and everything. The one I'm actually using is a 3/8 inch depth to it. Get that through. Now you need a washer on the other side. So I've got these washers that fit this rivet. Feel through, get that in place. Okay. Now, make sure my washer's on it. Washer in place. Get your hook positioned correctly, because it gets pretty tight once you rivet this thing in place. Okay. So I've got it in place, and as you can tell, it's pretty sturdy. So I've got one of those. like I say, we're going to leave this strap on this one. I don't believe it's necessary to get rid of that strap. Just leave it there. These other straps, I'm going to need these for various things. So make sure you save these. These are the clamps right here that I get from Lowe's. This is a 3/8. That's for the upper bracket. And 1/4 inch for the bottom hook. Okay, remember these are the straps that I told you not to throw away and kind of take care of taking them off. I'm going to use these straps to make a little handle right here. So when you take these off, you've got a handle to grab. One end already has been folded and sealed off. I'm going to do the other end, but what I'm going to do is, since I don't have a sewing machine and I don't like to sew, I'm going to use my tape again. So I get 2 strips of tape. Ought to do the trick. Since this is a fabric, I'm going to take it over to the vise and I'm going to apply pressure with the vise to try to get this tape to mesh into the material as much as I can. Okay, so I've got it meshed in, and then I peel it off. Get to the other side of the double sticky. And now I just take this and fold it over like so. Just make sure it's folded on the same side that the other end is. And then I go back over to my vise and do the same thing again. That way it gets it sealed in there. And you really don't have to worry about that too much once you have it in place over here. So I want to set these up about the same distance. It's no exact science, but it always helps to kind of have everything the same. So I'm going to put one 2 inches off and put the other one 2 inches off. So that's my hole right there. Okay, since I cannot get my punch into this fabric, I'm using this board as a backer, and I'll use the board as a backer. Put it down here. Make sure you don't have any of your other fabric that you could damage. Get it there. Now I'm going to take my Dremel, and what I want to do is I'll put a rivet here to make sure that this Velcro doesn't come off, because the only thing that's really holding it is the glue that's on the back side of it. I use a heavy duty Velcro right here, and industrial strength. You can usually pick this up at Lowe's or a hardware store, anything, but it comes in a roll, and that's what I'm using for that. One side is sticky and the other side will have your fuzzy, and the other side will have your hook. But I also want to put holes, rivets in this. So I'll put one there and I'll put one there. And I did that at a high speed to pretty much burn its way through, as opposed to actually drilling its way through, because it kind of cauterizes, for no better word, kind of cauterizes the fabric to the extent that it won't fray around those holes. Okay, I've got that. Now on the strap that I did, I can go ahead and use a hole puncher on it. So, a small hole for this one. I'm trying to get into where it doubles up. Hole there. And a hole there. Now for these, I'm going to use a smaller rivet than I use for these hooks here. I'm going to use a 1/16 inch by 3/8 inch deep rivet. And I'll use a smaller washer, one that's appropriate for that hole. Okay, so there I've got my little carrying handle, and I've got the Velcro, so this Velcro will attach to the other one here, unify them together. Okay, now next thing I need is this bungee. I always take my bungee and kind of seal off those ends. Okay, I'm going to make that about 6 inches long. I'm going to need 2 of these, so since I've already got making one, let me cut the other one. Now what I want to do is I'm going to use just a little bit of thread here. Got some heavy nylon thread, and I'm going to just thread through these to hold them together. Doesn't take much thread to hold this together. That's probably plenty right there. Now what I want to do is I want to seal it off. First of all, I'm going to use 2 tubings on it. And my reason is I want to make this sure I've got a little bit of a knot at the end here so it won't pull through. Okay, I've got that. Now I'll put this has a little, like I said, it has a little adhesive in it, so it works a little bit better as far as not slipping off of things. And while it's still hot, take these pliers and I'm going to crimp the end. And that's another thing about the adhesive. If you see, you can see that clear adhesive that has come out. That's what makes this heat shrink nice for doing things like this. So I've got that. Now we go back to this little straight piece of flat iron that I've got. Already got my holes in it and everything. And I take this and feed it through the center hole. It'll be a little tight, which in this case tight's good because you don't want it to slip through all the way. Then I pull that down and I try to have it in such a way that when it's put in here, it won't be on top of this tubing. So I've got it right there. And so what I want to do now, and I'll get that about center way. It's about 11 inches, 5.5. So that's about center. This is not an exact science. Okay, so I've got my 2 holes there. Take my wood block again, since I can't get my puncher in there. Make sure we don't have any fabric in the way. And then I just burn a hole with this drill right through it. And this pannier comes with a backing substance in it. It's a thin plastic. I don't even know if it's as thick as what I use, but it's some in there. It's the same size, the 1/8 inch rivets here. When you pick up these rivet tools and everything, you can get them at Lowe's. You can get them just about any of your hardware stores. They're relatively cheap. Pay as much. Usually when you buy it, you'll get a set of rivets and the tool itself. I'm not going to do that all the way quite yet. I'm going to get that other rivet in so it's all lined up and everything. And I'll tighten this one up. Okay, so there she goes. I'll put that up under that strap. So now we've got that one. And I'll show you how to connect it. I've got my hook down here. First thing you do is just hook this in place, like so. Pull your pannier up, like so. So there you got it. And if you want to just be on kind of the safe side so these things won't fall off, you can always take this strap, pull it over here, take your other one, pull it over here, and just take a piece of your Velcro strap. I don't have any close by, but just take the Velcro and loop it through here. That way, this won't bounce up and come off. All right. Well, guys, I appreciate y'all watching this video. I hope that y'all got some knowledge from it or enjoyment or whatever. And thanks for watching.